Dominant and recessive alleles. Dominant alleles show their effect even if the individual only has one copy of the allele. For example, the allele for having a widow's peak is dominant, which is represented by the capital W. Therefore, you only need one copy of the widow peak allele, the capital W, to have a widow's peak. Or this would look like capital W to capital W, or a capital W, lowercase w. Recessive alleles. Recessive alleles only show their effect if the individual has two copies of the allele. For example, the allele for having straight hairline is recessive, so it's represented by a lowercase w in this case. Therefore, to have straight hairline, you need to have two copies of the straight hairline allele, which would be two lowercase w's. Alleles are the letters that represent traits that you have on the inside. And remember, you get one copy from dad and one copy from mom. Heterozygous and homozygous. Heterozygous is an individual who carries two different alleles for a particular gene. We've given you an example here where we have a lowercase a and a capital A, or a capital A, lowercase a. So they are looking different. Homozygous is an individual who carries two of the same alleles for a certain gene. And that's our example here is the two lowercase a's. It would also be two capital A's. So you can kind of see another example of both of these. So homozygous is when they are the same. So if you look here, we have two capital B's. So this would be homozygous. They are exactly the same trait. Okay, and over here, homozygous again, but this time they're both lowercase b's. Heterozygous would be when they look different. So we have a capital B, lowercase b, okay, which is indicated here, or a lowercase b, capital B. Okay, so let's practice. Which one or ones are heterozygous? So if you're looking at this, where do you see the heterozygous ones? Okay, which ones are homozygous? Let's see if you got it right. So the first one, anytime we saw the capital B and the lowercase b, that was heterozygous. Anytime we saw the same two letters, if they were two capital letters or two lowercase letter, like this one and this one, those are homozygous. Okay, so let's think about this question. What governs inherited traits of an organism? First of all, if you are confused on what governs means, think about we have a governor, a government. They make rules and regulations that we need to follow. So they are in control. Okay, so what controls inherited traits? Okay, we talked about heredity today. Inherited is just a form of that word. Traits that you're getting from okay, and then of organism, that would be like you and me. Where do we get our traits? I hope you said that we get them passed on through our genetic material that we get from our mom and dad. Or in another situation where it's asexual reproduction, then they would get all their genes from their one parent. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and go on to Canvas and find the activity called Inventory of My Traits. This will just give you a chance to click what traits you have, and we will just kind of look at them in class. So go ahead and find that activity on Canvas, Inventory of My Traits.